Let it 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 Let it
Good evening. Greetings. God bless you. How is everyone doing this evening? Move the move. Could you move this for me? Thank you. I don't know. You can't get good help nowadays. My lighting director just started working, and he comes in here and he not sitting, he's standing. So I knew something was going on, and I'm trying to figure out. But you can't get good help nowadays, and I'm able to find out that he made all these excuses. You got it all set. I did a great job. He's just in here flexing his muscle, only to let me know the reason he's really not in here with me tonight is because the game is on.
Don't say that.
Because the game is on. You cannot get good help nowadays, I tell you. He hasn't even earned any PTO time. And he's set up the lights and he's out of here. Familiarity breeds contempt. Doing business. I think I just created a new word. Business. Ministry and business. When you do business with spouses or family, man, I don't know what to say because the game is on, Elder Connie. Brittany, what? I told him don't expect this day to be in his paycheck. And then you know how us's do. He said, I didn't know there was a paycheck. You know there's a paycheck, brother. It's a paycheck to everything and spousal covenant. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Welcome all 79 of you. Come on in. We've got some work to do. I can tell you right now that we are not going to finish this topic tonight, even if we start now at 7:10, because I kind of talk and give people time to get in. Even if I started, we would not finish this because this is some good stuff. We got some good cooking happening tonight. Let me move these screens around here so that I can get us all started. Minister Ebony is telling us Solutions Administrator, our coach, Solution Secretary is telling us that the assessment link is now available. The form is open. Please make sure tonight, after we hang up, that you complete your assessment for this week. It's the relationship assessment, anxiety assessment, and depression assessment. And they're just assessments, not diagnoses. As the ticker across the bottom of the screen is saying, I don't know who's really viewing. I see a name. I don't know if it's really the person, but either way, Suzanne M. Howard is not the viewer's counseling. I am not even your life coach, and I am not operating in the role of being a therapist to whomever is viewing. This site is for information and education. So welcome. Welcome, Crystal Adgers at 6:17 p.m. Keita, welcome. Gwyneth, welcome. Maria Rodriguez, love having you on. Diana Santos, Darlene Henry, Rosalind Grant, our Cherie, welcome. Keisha Brown, come on, Tasha Ross. Coach Ebony's in. Lydia Cordova, you've been pretty consistent with us every night. How many nights you got in with us? How many of y'all can put in, because I got 2 questions tonight. Put in how many days you've been on here consistently. I know we all have life and we're not going against anything that you had to do or take care of anything. We appreciate replay. However, I want to know, how many nights have you been on? We're on our 14th night. How many have done 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? How many nights have you been on with us? Welcome, Leah. My brother Rodney, God bless you and welcome, sir. Noemi, Chantel, welcome. Carmen Ortiz, Bianca, welcome. Welcome, Cora, Renee, Donna, welcome. Dolores, Camille, Chevelle, Brittany, Renee, welcome. Dominique, welcome. Carla, Carmen Palmer, welcome. Welcome, Vanessa, Elitza, Patricia, welcome. Frederica and Prudence, Cheryl Johnson, good evening, detoxers. Good evening, Anya. Anya, I got a job for you to do. Good evening, Rhonda. Ubi, welcome from Canada. Welcome, Brenda. Kingdom Health Connections. Welcome, Patricia Wilson. Hello there. Hello, Prophetess Erica. Prudence, I don't know if I said your name. It just sounds like you've already been in my spirit. Hello to you. Rochelle, welcome. Swift Ties. Kamisha, welcome. Audria. Nanita, I see you. Candy, Manuel, welcome. Carmen Jones, Coach Latanya, welcome. Gwen Molden, welcome. Raisha, beautiful. I love that name. Love the spelling of it. Welcome. Welcome, Renee Latoya. She's another one that's very consistent with us. Welcome, Aubrey, Damien. Welcome, Sylvia. Welcome. God bless you all. Welcome, Elder Connie, Gwen Tucker. Come on, we're up to 80. Let's go. Come on into the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Hello, come on in, come on in. Nick, it's that time. Deja, welcome. Come on, Sharon Witt. I see y'all coming in. Come on, park your cars, get into the nice warm building and take your most comfortable seat in the house. Hallelujah. Come on, it's game time, Carla. Come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. All right. Yeah, Joycey, New York Giants. You want to see some prayers and intercession happening? Let it be a Giants playing. Or Dallas. He prays for his enemies. But he P-R-E-Y's his enemies. He ain't quite learned that the alphabet letter is wrong. Welcome, Anna. Welcome. Yolanda, welcome. Hello there, Nicole Coleman. Good evening. It's all lighting in here. It's burning my eyes. God bless you. Welcome. We're easing on down the road here. I'm seeing repeats. So we're going to say hello to Keisha, Arthur, Kareem. Hello, hello, and hello. I see Connecticut coming up on the screen. Cheryl Johnson says she's been on 12 times with 2 replays. Woo. 13 nights for Cora. Lydia has done it. All right. She's done all the 14 days. We started January 2nd. Noemi's got 14 days. Gwyneth's got 14 days. Deja doing 13. Come on. Manuel's at lucky number 11. Vanessa has 14. Audria 13. You need to do better, Audria. Now you know better. Darlene has 14. Rochelle has 9. And has some work to do with replay. We support you, my sister. Gwen Tucker's at 13. Good evening, Bettina. Dominique says all of them. Her number is #committed. Angela Copeland, welcome. Angela Blake, good evening. John Booker. Tony Cranford, hey, baby. Hello. Michaela. Oh, this is the big one, Elizabeth. Hey, Pastor Yashika, how are you today? God bless you, sis. Amen. We got to get rolling. Misha, pretty eyes. I see you. And all the way down to the bottom. No sorriness necessary, my good friend. All right. We got some work to do. How did y'all do last night? How did y'all manage on last night? So the next thing I want to ask you is, how many years have you been with So Detox? How many years? We started in 2006. So we had January 16, January 2017, January 2018, January 2019, January 2020, January 2021. That just don't seem right. January 2022. Let me see. No, we started in 17. So January 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so this is my 7th January. How did y'all make it through? Oh, yes. Please, 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 please. My coaches and I were online last night doing business, and we noticed that a lot of people are commenting, and we love it. My God, you don't know how much we love it. It's like banana cream pie for me. However, not everyone is liking it. Please get the likes up for us. It's free. Come on, man. It's free. Can't go wrong with free. I was thinking how on Oprah and The Price is Right, Ellen DeGeneres. I don't care for them new shows. I don't even like that New Girl show, but all those shows that are on, they're scripted. And they have signs out there, clap. They have signs out there, rave. They give little lessons on what to do for the show to keep it exciting. We especially need that excitement because we are going so deep in the soul. We're not making people laugh. That's not the goal of our show. Our goal is to change thoughts, change minds, to eventually change lives. So we need the likes. We need the love. Please share the likes. Please, 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 please. Thank you. All right. We got a pretty tough night tonight. I ain't going to lie. I'm going to tell you straight up for tonight. We got a tough one. We have to deal tonight with passive aggression. This is a major one. We talked on the other night. All right, Chantel, beautiful. We talked on the other night how, well, let me ask y'all. What is one of the main common so far? It is out of all the 20, but you haven't gotten that far yet with me. What is the main defense mechanism that we learn? It's the most common with us. Anyone remember what it is? Yeah, passive aggression. We got to deal with this. Come on. We got to deal with this. See if I could get it. I don't want to cut my head off, but anyone remember? Back into the birthing ward. Come on. Nope. Good guess, though. Good guess, Chevelle. Good guess, Renee. Come on. Those are my YouTubers. That's close, but come on. What's the number one? That is the most common when I say number one. It starts with an A, but it's not anxiety. Anxiety is the reason for the defense mechanism. We're trying to avoid that. Disassociation. Nope. That's a good one, though. Can you see my shirt? She says, nice shirt. Can you see it? This is what we do. This is how we do it. Close. Y'all got those. Crystal, Corinda's got it. There you go. Then Nicole's coming up with it now. Avoidance. Avoidance. Thank you, Corinda's and Crystal. I see Kamisha coming up too. Y'all are on different pages, so y'all didn't see each other to copy. Real good. Diana's coming up with it. Elitza, Carmen. Avoidance. That is the number one most common defense mechanism that we resort to when we're feeling triggered by threat, fear, anxieties, those such. So this is what makes tonight a little more difficult, because passive aggression is avoidance. They are just two different strategies, or as we say in the mental health world, adaptional processes. How we adapt to the process is different between avoidance and passive aggressive. But there is so much avoidance in passive aggression that the two are often pretty much a bridge to each other. So we've got some talking to do tonight. Now, let me see. Okay, I don't think we did rationalization, so we'll talk about that one. I think we ended on intellectualization, but we really got busy on compartmentalization. So we're doing well. We're doing well. We can give ourselves that check mark tonight. We are up to number 13 out of the 20, and then we go into a little more detail on how they affect our relationships and our lives. Then we spend some time trying to understand how to break them in our lives. And then if there's any time left, we'll do some more healing and deliverance and word of knowledge, and we'll do some things of that sort. All right. But tonight we're going to talk about rationalization, and we're going to end and park on the street called passive aggression. And it's a big one. And I want you to free your mind. I want you to free your heart. I want you to release any personal judgments over yourself. I want you to release any judgments you may have. because when you start dealing with these issues that are unknown, unconscious, or they can trigger that fear, that anxiety that we've been talking about on these 14 days so far, that your mind starts giving you self-talk to say, oh, I don't feel good. I don't want to be on. Oh, I just can't take this from her tonight. And I just can't deal with this. And, we start looking for things so that we don't have to face the thing we don't want to face. And we do it, remember, it's unconsciously. It operates through our subconscious mind. My personal takeaway from last night was realizing how we can do two things at once by using our conscious and our subconscious. We can literally drive, not consciously, we can literally drive unconsciously and have our mind on something conscious and not even recall why we got off this exit, how we got where we are, sober. Remind you, there's no drugs or alcohol involved. But we can split our consciousness and actually be doing two things at one time, but be completely unaware of the one that's happening subconsciously, which you think would be the conscious one, because your two hands are on a wheel. You have a foot working the brake and the gas. And yet that's the part that you're actually able to do subconsciously, especially if it's a repeated pattern. Remember highway hypnotism? Remember that? Yeah, split consciousness. And that's without being split personality or bipolar. That's just you're able to use both consciousness. So let's talk about rationalization. Why do we rationalize as a defense mechanism? We'll spend maybe 10 minutes or so on that. And then we're going to go to passive aggression, because passive aggression, I'm really going to take out my shovel and dig tonight. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to finish the digging on tomorrow. It's going to take 2 nights to do passive aggression because it is so strong. It is so hurtful. It is so common. It is destroying families. It's destroying ministries. It's destroying teams. It's destroying the self. It's destroying relationships. It is very, very strong. So I'm going to park there for tonight and tomorrow night. So let's talk tonight. Welcome to the 14th night of So Detox, Sunday, January 15th, 2023. I'm glad to have you here with me tonight. Please take the time to like and share. Even if you drop in and take off and keep on going, you can at least hit us with a like. We're doing a great work here, and it is marvelous in his sight. The Lord has been speaking to me all day and showing me things that are very important to what we do, and getting the people to understand how important it is of this work that we do. It's an important work. And I don't think even maybe you all as maybe you call yourself followers or detoxers or I forget the other name we had for it. So delegates, you may just consider yourself, someone in that ranking, but I want you to understand how much more you do. And I sent this out. If you have the app, you should have been able to read this today. And I don't think I put it on social media, but I sent it to everyone who has the app, all 200 people who registered so they can keep up with all the material and the assessments in the book and all the private conversations we have offline on this. And I said, you all are wonderful people. You care about the world and mental health. You are a step closer to changing the world, because changing the world starts with you. You have helped shape and change someone's life. You prevented someone from self-harm, and you gave someone else hope. And most of you contributed to one person, at least that I know of, I can validate, from depression, and gave hope for their life. You did that. How did you do that? By sharing and liking. You're helping to further the gospel. I'm sure you follow some social media influencers, and we get great laughs from them. Some we get our information, our news, our current events, style, fashion, and maybe even some good old-fashioned gossip. That's all cool. There's no shame in that statement. But I just want you to know that our show is different. Our goal is different because it's more than a show, it's ministry. And that makes spreading our awareness that much more difficult. So I'm asking, that if all 200 of you would hit the likes on our past Facebook or YouTube videos, it's free. And not only is it free, thank you, it's easy. I've even attached a video at the bottom of that email blast that I sent out to 200 of us today, just to help get us started. And I sent out the one that had the prayer and the word of knowledge in it for you to enjoy. It starts, if you slide up the little timeline to 33 minutes, you'll be right there and you can just receive that prayer. That's still working today because people have reached out to me. Thank you for reaching out. I've been really feeling really depressed about some things. Thank you for reaching out. I have a very close family member that said they've been dealing with a lot of self-harm and they haven't been able to even think about self-harming because they're so busy processing the information here, being supported in such a strong community and group of people who are no respecter of person. We're here together, unashamed, naked, sometimes afraid, but we don't let each other drop. So you did this. You started changing the world just because you started with you. We appreciate you and we appreciate your time here at Suzanne M. Howard, certified mental health coaching. Not a gimmick, not a game. This isn't a 1, 2, 3 year thing. Been doing this since January 2017. I've been pastoring people in my office since March 2006. This is how important that you are to us. And I want to thank y'all for that. Let me see my clap. Is that my clap or is that my drum roll? Changing the world. It starts with you. We can't run out there and start changing people, changing how we're racist, changing how we're not impatient, how we're not patient with people, how we're not more understanding with people, more sympathetic with people. I saw this guy on Instagram holding up this sign and he said, I just need someone to talk to. And he stood there. Did anyone see that on Instagram yet? I just need someone to talk to. And he was holding a sign. Everybody walked by him. He even got in some people's way, blocking him. And they were like, what? But they still went around him after reading his sign. He flips the sign over. On the other side, he had free money and money all around it. And every person that went by snatched some money off. Some people walked up to the sign and took more than one, more than two, took more than their fair share. But he couldn't get one person to just stand there and say, I'm willing to listen to you. Absolutely. Wow, Kevin Joyner, thank you very much. He said he shared this multiple times. This definitely needs to be heard. Thank you, Kevin. You are a world changer. You are literally changing the world, sir. Thank you so much. So I appreciate you all. Thank you all. I see 99 in here tonight. So rational, we just hit 100. Thank you. We're in. We're ready to go. Drums now or claps now? Let's go. Rationalization is the use of logic or reasoning to justify something upsetting that occurred. The actual reasons for the event are avoided and replaced with other seemingly reasonable explanations. By rationalization, you might change something difficult to accept into something that isn't so bad. What are you talking about? It's a form of self-deception. The worst self-deception there is personal self-deception. Because if you can deceive yourself, you can convince yourself, you are more empowered to deceive and convince others. That's what a lot of cult leaders do. A lot of cult leaders have deceived themselves, convinced themselves, that's what we call drinking the Kool-Aid, convinced themselves of their own self-deception and started to breed it onto other people. They are convinced of what it is that they are displaying, this cultish mindset and religion or whatever it is that they're trying to spew into people. It's a form of self-deception that can be effective in the short term, which we agree on all defense mechanisms. They all are proven to be effective for the individual who's operating out of that behavior in the short run of things, because it helps them to reduce their anxiety and protect their self-esteem. For example, someone who was rejected for a date might rationalize by telling themselves they didn't find the other person attractive anyway. I've heard these things before. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze again. Oh, excuse me. Thank you. It may be too painful for them to accept the lack of mutual attraction. So by rationalizing, they avoid feelings of rejection and the threat to their self-image. Think about it. How many of y'all rationalize things to limit the effect of heart pain or head pain or physical pain that the event or the conversation or the news could have actually done to you? How many times when you heard that somebody in the family was maybe talking about you and you try to rationalize it in your mind? Oh, we got that nailed down. Let me give you some that just came to my mind. We have this nailed down. One of them is, I don't care. I don't care, when inside you know you care. But you have to say that you don't care because someone has rejected you, and you have to maintain your self-esteem, your self-image. So you are trying to block the pain of their rejection. So you say, I don't care. Some of the other things, this is more on the passive aggressive line, we're going to ease our way over there, is I'm just saying. Passive aggressive statements are usually statements where we're like, I'm just saying. What's the other one to rationalize? What's the other one? Let me think. I don't care. And it's another one that people say. And it's a false way to act like they don't care. They're not attached to what was done to them, but they are. I don't see it on the screen yet either. But when you heard someone, it's all good. That's another one right there. Come on, Brittany. And then it is what it is. It is what it is. Popeye syndrome. Take your shoes off, Brenda. Doesn't it hurt when you find out that your own family has talked about you? Doesn't it hurt? So let's deal with that pain for a moment. And let's also remember that when we talk about people, we're hurting them as well. And that part we got to get better at. Because we're real good at talking about our pain, what the family has done to us, what the church has done to us. But how many have you hurt in the church before you left? Relationships require covenant, and that's where most people don't do well. Whatever. Yep, that's another one, Renee. It hurts when you find out that someone in your church hurt you. A spouse betrayed you. Your child lied to you. A friend was dishonest with you. It hurts, but we have a way of saying, that's all right. Even the statement that is absolutely true, but we say it not out of a healed place. We say it out of a broken place. When people show you who they are, believe them. And it's a very true statement, more true than I think we actually, that statement has some depth in it. And I don't think that we really appreciate the depth of that statement, because we always got to take it like it's, like we just so cocky and so strong. When people show you who they are, girl, please, but you better believe it. But do you understand the depth of that? When you show people who you are, how do you show people how you are? By how you let them treat you. There's another one I see Angela put up here. I didn't want it anyway. I didn't love them anyway. I never trusted them anyhow. I'm good. Family hurt is the worst. Yeah. But yet we rationalize it. It's family. Blood is thicker than water. I don't know about that sometimes, y'all. I think I've had better luck with water in some cases. But we have to stop rationalizing it, because remember, from all the teachings that we've done up to this point, this is self-sabotaging. Defense mechanisms rob you of your chance to grow. Ooh, I gotta sneeze again. Defense mechanisms rob you of your chance to learn conflict resolution. When I was talking to my granddaughter today, I said, how long you and this girl been friends? And she told me, I said, oh, y'all ain't friends yet. And what you mean, Mima? You so silly, Mima. No, y'all ain't friends yet. She said, how do you know we're not friends? Why do you say we're not friends? We're really close. We call each other sissy. And I said to her, I said, have y'all had an argument yet that y'all were able to overcome? She said, no, friends don't argue. I said, friends argue, but friends make up. I said, you know that every single one of my closest relationships, I have had a disagreement, maybe even an argument with, and the true friendships were able to resolve the conflict and come back around and have a greater depth of intimacy and love and respect for one another. When you are friends with people that say the first time you do something, I'm cutting you off, they're not friends. They're not even ready to be friendly. That's what the Bible tells us. In order to have friends, you have to first be friendly. Well, what does it mean to be friendly? You do not know the depth of your marriage, your intimate domestic relationships. You don't know the depth of your friendships until you've been betrayed. That's my next book, y'all. Ooh, wait till y'all see this next one coming out. This is not going to have anything to do with Soul Detox. This is more of a leadership and a ministry. And this one's good. Oh my God. Every time I go back over it, I get more and more information from the well of the Holy Spirit. The depth of true love is when it can come back around from a betrayal. When forgiveness can be put in operation. You don't have a friend yet, Peyton. That's a buddy. That's an associate. That's your hanging partner. That's your schoolmate. The depth of any relationship is the testing that has to come with it. For the testing of our faith. Come on. Couples want to break up when they start having trouble. No, this is now testing what you have been able to enjoy for a year or 3 years or 5 years. The conflict isn't a sign that the relationship is over. You know how I even believe? I don't even believe that an affair is something that a marriage can't recover from. I just don't believe it. And biblically, it's not even so. You can leave for that reason, but he said you can leave. He doesn't say it is a law to leave your spouse when they have cheated on you. Because I have sat with so many people who have had affairs, and it had nothing to do with the spouse or even the marriage. It had to do with internal issues within the individual. You got something when you can bounce back from turbulence and pain and betrayal. When you know that the person is not going to hurt you again, that they're not going to do it again, you have something to work with. But a lot of young couples, I told them, I said, your honeymoon, you're 5 years. You've been on your honeymoon for 5 years. See, we take the honeymoon as the place we go away to do the sex that we was already doing before we got married. I mean, come on, people. The honeymoon is the time that we're supposed to have before we get married, when they are our betrothed, before the wedding. Biblically, in the Old Testament, people did not work when they got married for a few years, if I can remember correctly. A year or 3 years, maybe a year sounds more accurate in my memory. because they needed that time to build. They needed that time for oxytocin to come together so that there will be a bond that is greater than any other established institution on this earth. We don't bond. We marry because of class. We marry because we in love. We in love. But love keeps no record of wrong. This stuff not easy. I'm not preaching it because I have achieved. I have preached it because I'm on my hands and knees. I don't consider myself to have overcome with this gospel that I preach. Otherwise, I can find my own self shipwrecked somewhere on the word of God. All I'm saying is married, friendships, church relationships, business relationships, the depth of that relationship is only known when conflict has showed up and we were able to operate in conflict resolution. An affair is horrible. It's horrible. And it takes years to heal. And the betrayer has to be willing to heal the individual who they betrayed. And that's where most people cannot reconnect after an affair, because the betrayer, you're not going to keep punishing me. You're not going to keep reminding me. I'm going to remind you to it until I'm healed. It get rocky in some of these households, y'all. How many times I got to say I'm sorry? You're going to say you're sorry until I'm healed. The depth and the power of love. It's not something that comes easily in light. You can't have a $50,000 wedding and think that's the end of your investment. It takes years to heal. It's a betrayal and it hurts. But my point in that is, do not rationalize someone's betrayal, your spouse's affair, your affair, to the damage that you're causing. Do you know that just dealing with this affair thing, I don't know if you're on here tonight, but if you want to inbox me on the side and share something with me, because I must be speaking to you or 2 or 3 of y'all on tonight. But when you do anything that can cause a disruption in the flow in the union of your love in marriage, do not think that you've only affected yourself or affected your spouse, because it can be the wife or the husband. Do not think that you are only affecting the children. Most people don't even realize the effect on the children. You know how many times I've seen couples divorce, move on, and get people that they're in love with and having the time of their lives? You know where the pain and the grief and the trauma of the divorce is lying? On the children. For years to come, even following them in their own marriages. Your affair is not just about you. It's not just about your spouse. And then it even trickles. Divorce hurts a church, y'all. Divorce hurts a family. Divorce hurts friends. Don't get so mad at people if they've got a comment about your divorce. It hurts. I look on social media, and when I see Hollywood getting divorced and I read the comments, because the best thing about social media is the comments. It's not even the post. The comments is the winner for me. People on social media are hurt when they see some of their idols, some of their influencers, some of Hollywood's best that got on there. We waited until we said I do. Well, you should have waited a little bit longer, because you I do'd for only 5 years, for 8 years. Whew, if this was a married group tonight, but it ain't. So I'm going to move on. Just remember, the depth of any relationship isn't in the good days. It's in the worser, which ain't a word, of them. Know that. Don't rationalize. Our 13th defense mechanism on tonight, your way out of pain, out of situations. I know women that continually deny their husband's affairs. They rationalize their way out of them. And it's just hurting more, causing more pain. And the longer you ignore his bad behavior or her bad behavior and the toxicity that it's doing to you and him as individuals, the more it's hurting everybody else. Do not rationalize your way that I'm hurt and I'm angry and you're going to deal with this until I'm healed. And if you don't go to counseling, this could last us until death literally does us part. Or we can get counseling. We can work our way through this and cut down at least half the time. But don't rationalize your way out of, I am hurt. But I rationalize because I don't want to be alone. I rationalize because I don't want to be rejected. I rationalize because I don't know if financially I can do it. I rationalize because he or she is the only family I have, because my family has even turned their backs on me. So subconsciously, I put up with their behavior because this is all I have. And in my fantasy mindset, which is tomorrow night's teaching, I've made them family in my mind. So I take whatever they bring because at least they're my family. The Bible tells us that when mother and father forsake you, can we take a breather? That's right, Arthur. We're not sweeping it under the rug. It's sickening. I think this is why so many people are dying of heart attacks. I pray for my heart every night, especially when I have so much stress in ministry and home and trying to balance the finances out and dealing with the everyday life of raising a 11-year-old girl. I had a son, okay? He's 37. Now I got a little girl that I'm raising who has her own scheme of issues. And sometimes I feel those heart palpitations and it's like, oh, Lord, the devil is a liar. Father, I'm calling on peace, calling on the healing balm of Gilead. If it's a muscle spasm, if it's anxiety, if it's a heart attack, Father, I pray for the healing to come through me now. The other day I was in the kitchen with my husband, we were doing something and I went to lift something and a big pain came in my heart. And I said, and it really, really hurt. I'm not a weak person for pain. I take lots of pain, and that's dangerous because they say people like us will be the last to go to the hospital, and usually when it's too late. And when I lifted the thing up, he looked at me because of the way I yelled out. And I was like, right away, it was like, come on, Suzanne, is the stress worth it? Hopefully I was just overweight and the muscle was spasming, but come on. Don't rationalize your way out of it because your body spends minutes and hours and weeks and months and years trying to tell you that you've been tucking something under the rug, and your physical body is not programmed to hide the pain that you have on the inside. So it has to show up somewhere in your body to tell you to go get help. Don't rationalize, because that may be the last thing you ever rationalize again. That's right, Crystal. One of my favorite scriptures, hope deferred makes the heart sick, literally, figuratively, and physically. Be encouraged on tonight. There's people here that you don't have to rationalize to. We can't judge you because we found out that we are equal to you. We are equal in our humanity. We all share pain of some sorts. We all carried some shame at some point in our life. There's some things that we can't be vulnerable about that are embarrassing to us. But don't rationalize your way. It hurts and you matter. It's painful and you matter. You want out of that situation, but you don't know how. I'm here to listen to you. I won't even advise you. I'll let you talk it out yourself. And I'll be a guiding coach. I'll be a guiding light here to help you in prayer. Rationalization. Man, I didn't know the Holy Ghost was going to use up all this time on that one. I thought I had nothing on that one. But that's how I'm able to write. So now I can take this and I'll go type it up and add it to my book and do an edit. Someone says, I've been trying to work on, let me put her over here. I've been trying to work on the betrayal in my life. I dealt with a lot of betrayal and learned self-betrayal patterns. I ignored and refused to acknowledge the pain and hurt because they were family. Come on, y'all. In your nose, God breathed the breath of life into humanity, and we became a living soul. Exhale. Come on, one more time. In your nose, God breathed the breath of life into humanity, and we became living souls. Exhale. Yes, yes, yes. Apostle Pamela, acknowledge the pain. Come on, Holy Spirit, and do a MRI CAT scan to get to the roots and release the defense mechanisms. Beautiful. Ruth said, dry bones come alive. We are to lift one another up. The hardest thing to do is to judge, and that's God's job. The Holy Spirit makes the intercession. Our only job is to love, and we can't do it. We prophesy, we sing, we judge, we do everything. And what we have to do is just love. And we fail that probably 99 times in a day. Well, I guess I can tap into passive aggression, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow night, because this one's going to be a heavy, heavy breather for us. Make sure you have some water by your side, because it's going to be a heavy one. We're going to go down some streets, some avenues, some roads. We're going to park, and God's going to heal, and he's going to deliver. He's going to set free after he reveals what needs to be revealed. Passive aggression, our 14th defense mechanism. We're just going over the most common defense mechanisms, giving brief definitions of them, and then we're going to deal with how they show up in our identity, so we'll have more understanding how they affect our relationships, so we can have better relationships. Passive aggression is the indirect expression of anger to avoid directly dealing with the anger. Passive aggression is the indirect expression of anger to avoid directly dealing with the anger. This defense mechanism is used by many adults. Go ahead, Carmen. Particularly those who are very depressed and those with personality disorders. For example, someone who agrees to do a favor for a friend, despite not wanting to, might be passive aggressive by not following through with the requested favor. As an example, they might agree to pick up a friend from the airport at a particular time and then decide not to show up. They might later make the excuse that they forgot and they are so sorry, when in fact they decided to not be there. Passive aggressive. There's a t-shirt. I don't know if y'all seen it. There's a t-shirt out and it describes passive aggressiveness without saying it. And the t-shirt said, sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to be here. And I was going to get it for someone in my ministry team, because they are so convinced, and that's how you know that defense mechanisms are unconscious behaviors to thwart off a presumed or real life threat, fear, or some sort of anxiety. And the t-shirt literally explains, we should just have t-shirts, right, to help people get delivered psychologically so that spiritually they can be set free. The t-shirt literally says, I'm sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to be here. And that is the truth to procrastination. And that is the truth because procrastination can be a part of passive aggressiveness. We're going to talk about procrastination and passive aggressive between tonight and tomorrow night as well. Sorry, I'm late. I really didn't want to be here. Passive aggression. Procrastination. You leave out late. You know that you need to be out at a certain time. And then you start fumbling around with things, cleaning things. You just can't get things together. All these real life excuses. But the real deal is you didn't want to be there. And you may not even know you don't want to be there, because this behavior has been programmed since childhood. I bought you one, Elder Joy. She quick to throw herself under the bus. I don't say names, okay? Procrastination. That's a good one. I'll take that, Kamisha. Procrastination is a symptom of passive aggression. I'll take that. I like the word symptom in that case. So let's talk for a few minutes and then we get ready for tomorrow. The whole time is going to be about passive aggression because guess where we're going to go after passive aggression? Whew. Fantasy. Fantasy. So a concise definition is complex regarding passive aggression because the term passive aggressive behavior encompasses several actions and inactions. Cheryl wants one of those t-shirts. Oh, Elder Connie says, I'm helping her tonight. Come on. A concise definition is complex. It's hard because the term passive aggressive behavior encompasses several actions such as procrastination, lying, and inactions, just not showing up, not answering, emotional stonewalling. So it has an action and an inaction to it. So the understanding of it, the illumination of it can be a little complex, takes a little time. My understanding of passive aggressive behavior has to do with a person's inability to freely express anger. Since a child, and learning how to express that anger in less direct ways to avoid retribution, confrontation, good old-fashioned whippings, but still finding a way to make that anger felt. PM said that right there, emotional stonewalling. We're going to be on that by tomorrow night. So my understanding, I want to break it down in layman's. You know, I like to talk in layman's. I get the most feedback and compliments on my preaching style, teaching style, because people like that I break it down in layman's. There are those, like Apostle Paul says, that may have to speak in eloquent words and language, but the audience that the Lord has me feeding likes that broken down, not broken English, but give it to me with a little castor oil and a little sugar, maybe another little bit of drop of sugar, and then I can take some more castor oil. Break it down in layman's terms. I want to get an understanding of the understanding. My understanding of passive aggressive behavior has to do with a person's inability to freely express anger as a child and learning how to express that anger in less direct ways that avoid confrontation, but still make that anger felt. I'm going to do it my way. Passive aggressiveness. You don't even know because it has a smoke screen to it. You don't even, I've caused, this is the behavior of passive aggressive talking, right? Well, I see a skit coming now. I'm going to cause so much confusion in your relating with me that you won't even realize that you've been in secondhand smoke of my passive aggressive behavior. You can have someone literally confused for years, entangled, spider webbed in your passive aggressive behavior. This often results in a client being passive aggressive angrily towards their partner, while their partner has no clue about the real reason for their anger. I have clients, therapists, has patients. And I want to help y'all to understand that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow night as well, that the mental health life coach, we have clients, the therapists, the psychiatrist, the psychologist, they have patients. Okay. The mental health coach deals with passive aggressive behavior. The therapist, psychologist, the counselor, the psychiatrist deals with personality disorder, the passive aggressive personality disorder. The coach deals with issues. How many can say awesome issues? And the counselor deals with illness. So I got some issues. I may not need therapy, but I can use some help along the way with my mental health, my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, my communication, my anger, my beliefs, my self-esteem, my self-awareness, my defense mechanisms. I have some issues. And maybe I don't need a therapist, but everybody needs a mental health coach of some form, or I should say need a life coach of some form. So the origins of these feelings, let me see, we're at 1 hour, 2 minutes. Let me go for a couple more minutes. The origins of these feelings, which involve a parent who was full of control and or rage and would overpower any display of anger on the child's part by being very controlling, very forceful, very manipulative. So we're finding out how we grew up this way. I preached a message in church when I was dealing with the deflection of the toxicity parenting style of mothers, some form of style. And I talked about it wasn't my fault. And I had everyone admit it wasn't my fault, because we're taking on this responsibility of what was done to us. We have to clean it up. We have to spend years in therapy, spending money in counseling or coaching. But it wasn't my fault. Where did this come from? The origins of this behavior of passive aggressiveness involved somewhere in your life, going back to childhood, a parent who was in full control of you, had full control through rage, or would overpower you, and often caused you to repress your emotions, especially anger. You never had a right to share your displeasement, your unhappiness, your anger about an issue. You didn't have a right because I gave you a roof over your head and food on your table and clothes on your back. You don't have a right to say how you feel. You don't have a right to suggest what you would like. You don't have enough to say you don't want to eat those vegetables. You're going to stay at the table and eat those vegetables because I work hard. Your father left and I'm raising you. You know, all that berating, all that control, all that rage just coming out over you as a childhood, in your childhood as a child. And that would overpower you emotionally. So the anger that was pressed down on the child's life had to come out in some form of fashion, which is now known to us tonight as passive aggressive. This, if I can say, hostile environment, or let's just say the dynamics of their household, made it unsafe for the child to feel his own anger and to learn anger management. When we don't allow children, or we were not allowed to work through our anger, we do not get to the point to learn anger management. And if we cannot learn anger management, it's going to come out some way. And one of the ways is passive aggression. So this household, this dynamic, this functioning style in this childhood made it unsafe for the child to express anger as a child. So now, as an adult, he or she learns to go along, but make his anger felt in very indirect ways. Somebody say indirect ways. Yep, children must be seen, but not heard. And if you were lucky, you could be seen. They wanted you to walk through invisible. You know, Pam, that statement actually came from slavery. That's a statement that we carried, and we carried it into our homes, probably more of our Black families, our Black churches. We carried this into, because the slave master told the slave to come in here and serve, but be seen, doing your duties, but don't be heard, don't have a comment. That's a lot of ways where we carry forth some of the duties and responsibilities that we give to those armor bearers in the church, where we expect them to stand for 4 hours in a meeting. They can't eat. They can't indulge in the conversation. They have to stand there while we meet with other elects and elites. Yeah. They can be spoken to, but they're not allowed to speak back. A lot of the slave ways have carried over into our Black churches and our family homes. I didn't understand a lot of it. I didn't like a lot of the church things, and I wasn't raised in the church. I couldn't understand why I had to put my finger up to walk through the church. And when I did a study of it, because I got rebuked for forgetting to put my finger up, and maybe that came because I had the slave master daddy and the Black Indian mother, maybe that was the side of me that made me research it. And I found out putting the finger up was what the slave had to do. And we brought that into the church. We don't know no better. It's not our fault. That's why he says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Read, study, equip yourself, and then study and read and equip yourself some more. Stop carrying on generational things that we have no idea of the history of it. And the same thing goes with our anger and our acting out. We're ruining relationships. We're losing good people in our lives, loved ones in our lives, because we don't know how to be in relationship and be friendly. See, we think being friendly is being nice. And we talked about the word nice last year. That had its own connotation and definition. It had its own time in the show last year. Being friendly has nothing to do with that. This child suffered. We suffered in our family homes, not understanding how to express an anger in a household that wouldn't let us have a right to express it. Maybe we were raised around people that didn't know how to express their own anger, and they did it through drug use or bringing different partners home or alcoholism. All these behaviors that we do instead of expressing and releasing this anger. So the mind is so powerful. We were so wonderfully made that our body will begin, psychologically, will begin to find out ways to act out anger. Because people think anger is a sin. Anger isn't a sin. Anger becomes a sin when it's not released. What's the scripture about anger? Be angry. God said, be angry. I'm flipping tables, y'all. Anybody feel like joining me? Be angry. I'm so angry. I'm writing in the sand right now, having to do the same thing over and over and over again with these people and these disciples. I've walked with them. They've seen miracles with me. I've healed their families. They've seen me turn the lives around in villages. I'm angry. And I have to release the anger so that I will not sin. Be angry and sin not. Means if you don't be angry, you're going to end up in sin. Anger, murder in the Bible has the same sliding continuum. Because if you don't release that anger, you are as if a murderer. Read the Bible, y'all. So let me finish this line here, and then we got to end up because I'm already over here on 9 minutes, and y'all been keeping me late every night. This made it unsafe for the child to express anger as a child. So now as an adult, the child learns to go along, but make his anger felt in indirect ways, including, this is where I want to land tonight, including, here are some secrets. I'm giving you some hints out tonight. Here are some ways that passive aggression is being released. Let me do it this way, because I like to go from the root to the trunk to the fruit. So here are some ways where passive aggression is being fruitful, right? It's being disguised and hid under sarcasm, humor, irritability. Y'all got to say it for me tonight. Irritability and withdrawal, which includes emotional withdrawal. It includes stonewalling. It includes not coming home. It includes not showing up, being AWOL in your duties and your responsibilities, a dereliction of duties in your kingdom assignments. This is how their anger is being released. And the anger can be by a situation that's being triggered in the home, in the marriage, in the church, in the job, in the relationship. That's triggering, but it's always triggering the anger that was never expressed from their childhood. Something happened in their childhood that they were not allowed to have an opinion on, and they're angry about it. So some of the ways that it's released is through sarcasm, humor. Humor is going to be on Tuesday night. irritability, and withdrawal. Not showing up, derelict for your kingdom duties, not coming home when you're supposed to, husband and wives, children. Withdraw from conversations when somebody needs to have this conversation with you for their healing. So now as an adult, in an adult relationship with a partner now, with help, individuals are able to see how they are literally acting out in the same way they did growing up. And it's causing conflict and unhappiness in their very life. Woo, we got a good night on tomorrow, and it's going to be Monday. So get your hot tea and your cup of water and your favorite throw. Yeah. Passive aggressive is complex. Sometimes you're not able to see it for what it is because it doesn't always show up as what it is. It never shows up as anger. You'll have to observe the subtle signs of sarcasm, humor, irritability, and their withdrawal, sitting in a meeting and having nothing to say. You ever feel the energy from those? You walk down a hallway and you speak and people don't speak back to you, withdraw. That's manipulation. We're going to talk about that. Passive aggression is a form of control. People who operate out of passive aggression wants to control you. They want to control the situation. They're manipulating. Woo, woo, woo. Are y'all coming back on tomorrow night? Because it's 101 on. We had 167 when we started out. Am I going to see y'all on tomorrow night? Because we is going there. I'll leave it on a good note. With help, sign up. Go on my website. Book it with me. Or you'll get a better rate. You can book with one of my coaches. But the best way to get help is to help you recognize the tactics that you are using to release anger through a defense mechanism called passive aggression. But you need the help in understanding that you are acting in the same way you did growing up, and it's causing conflict, your home, your church, your relationships here and abroad, your financial situations, your reputation can't afford another hit. It is time for you to seek God. Seek help through a God-given servant. Because I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Absolutely. Keisha said, get the tea and the water, but don't forget your tissues and all. Because we are going to go there tomorrow. It's going to be freeing, healing. It's going to be enlightening. We're going to be free together, y'all. We all have it at different levels. I've done my work for so many years, but listen, we're like onions. It's always a layer being peeled and eyes that are shedding water for every layer that's being peeled. Vanessa J said, this is good teaching. Wow, I lived with this for years. With an ex-husband before I knew what it was. Yeah, it's controlling, it's manipulating, it's confusion, and it has you living in the secondhand smoke. And they don't even realize they're doing it. God bless you all. Thank you for your time tonight. Please like Facebook and YouTube. Please please share, inbox some people who may find this a little offensive or a little aggressive to their level of openness and vulnerability. Not everybody can take it, raw and with a little bit of ice. Some people like a lot of soda and simple syrup and mix in it. God didn't give it to me that way. But you can help those that you tag and share this to be able to take this castor oil with a little sugar. Because after all, the Bible said it is good that I was afflicted because it teaches you a lot. All right. Thank you. I see the Cash Apps coming in. Thank you for sowing your seed tonight on good ground. Thank you for helping us to purchase books so that we can give to people and bless people that we see everywhere, hurting people, broken people. We can get this material to them. If you go to Amazon and you put in at the search Suzanne M. Howard, or if you put in group therapy, defense mechanism, my book will come up. It is released right now on paperback. I'm waiting for my shipment, but Amazon doesn't need a shipment because because the paper runs right through them. You can go on Amazon tonight. You can purchase the ebook, or you can purchase the paperback book, and you can follow along with us as we go. I thank you again. God bless you. I truly, truly appreciate you. You are all wonderful people who are changing the world through mental health by starting with yourself. God bless you. See you tomorrow. We're going to be on time because we need that whole hour to get this done. God bless you.
Let it. Let it. Let it.